In this compelling HFY humanity, F***** story, humanity is perceived through the lens of alien civilizations as a terrifying and incomprehensible force. The narrative begins with an exploration fleet discovering Earth, referred to as GA-14, a planet teeming with life forms and environments that defy the norms of the galaxy. To the aliens, Earth is a blue bowl of death and chaos, filled with creatures and conditions that are both awe-inspiring and horrifying. Lemmy World. The story highlights the aliens' attempts to neutralize the perceived threat of Earth. Their efforts include drastic measures such as inducing an ice age by blocking out the sun and, conversely, attempting to scorch the planet's surface by amplifying solar radiation. Despite these extreme actions, life on Earth not only survives but thrives, showcasing humanity's resilience and adaptability. Reddit. As news of Earth's existence spreads, the alien public react with a mix of fear and fascination. While many are mortified, some, especially the younger generation, are intrigued by the planet's mysteries and the humans who inhabit it. This curiosity leads to a cultural phenomenon, with fringe literature and homemade media exploring the enigmatic nature of humanity. Lemmy World. The story culminates in a tense scenario where an alien crew fears that a distress signal from their ship might lead humans to their location. The captain attempts to maintain order, emphasizing the primitive nature of humans and the crew's ability to defend themselves. However, the underlying dread remains palpable, underscoring the theme of humanity as an unknowable and potentially dangerous force in the universe. Reddit. These stories exemplify the HFY genre's exploration of humanity's place in a vast and often indifferent universe. They challenge readers to consider how humans might be perceived by other civilizations, and what qualities make us unique, for better or worse. Rumble. If you're interested in more stories like these or have specific themes you'd like to explore, feel free to ask. The New Threat, Book 2, continues the saga of humanity's interactions with alien civilizations. While specific details about this installment are limited, the series is renowned for exploring themes of human resilience, adaptability, and complexities of interstellar diplomacy. The narrative often portrays humans as formidable beings who, despite their flaws, possess unique qualities that set them apart in the galaxy. This book builds upon the foundations laid in the first installment, introducing new challenges and adversaries that test humanity's place in the cosmos. Humans Are Cosmic Horrors by Tib Hipslus. In this compelling HFY humanity, F***** story, humanity is perceived through the lens of alien civilizations as a terrifying and incomprehensible force. The narrative begins with an exploration fleet discovering Earth, referred to as GA-14, a planet teeming with life forms and environments that defy the norms of the galaxy. To the aliens, Earth is a blue bowl of death and chaos, filled with creatures and conditions that are both awe-inspiring and horrifying. The story highlights the aliens' attempt to neutralize the perceived threat of Earth. Their efforts include drastic measures such as inducing an ice age by blocking out the sun and, conversely, attempting to scorch the planet's surface by amplifying solar radiation. Despite these extreme actions, life on Earth not only survives but thrives, showcasing humanity's resilience and adaptability. As news of Earth's existence spreads, the alien public react with a mix of fear and fascination. While many are mortified, some, especially the younger generation, are intrigued by the planet's mysteries and the humans who inhabit it. This curiosity leads to a cultural phenomenon, with fringe literature and homemade media exploring the enigmatic nature of humanity. The story culminates in a tense scenario where an alien crew fears that a distress signal from their ship might lead humans to their location. The captain attempts to maintain order, emphasizing the primitive nature of humans and the crew's ability to defend themselves. However, the underlying dread remains palpable, underscoring the theme of humanity as an unknowable and potentially dangerous force in the universe. These stories exemplify the HFY genre's exploration of humanity's place in a vast and often indifferent universe. They challenge readers to consider how humans might be perceived by other civilizations, and what qualities make us unique, for better or worse. If you're interested in more stories like these or have specific themes you'd like to explore, feel free to ask. Certainly, here's a continuation of the detailed biography without any headings. The narrative in The New Threat, Book 2 further expands the universe introduced in the first installment, immersing readers into a galaxy where human ingenuity is both a tool for survival and a spark for conflict. As humans begin to make their presence known beyond their solar system, they encounter species with vastly different ideologies and technologies. The book focuses on not just combat or exploration, but on the psychological and political tensions that arise when a species like humanity, relatively new to spacefaring, begins to influence galactic affairs in unexpected ways. Throughout the story, humans are portrayed as unpredictable yet tenacious, often taking actions that bewilder their alien counterparts. Their ability to adapt quickly, think creatively under pressure, and push ethical boundaries sets them apart. The aliens, once dismissive of humans, begin to reassess their understanding of strength and strategy. The second book continues a complex character development and introduces new protagonists and antagonists, all while maintaining a fast-paced narrative full of suspense, diplomacy, betrayal, and the ever-present possibility of war. It's a tale of how emerging power struggles test alliances, and how humanity must reckon with both external threats and internal divisions as they grow into a dominant force. In contrast, Humans Are Cosmic Horrors takes a much darker and more satirical lens, using alien perspective to underscore just how bizarre and terrifying human evolution appears when viewed without context. The aliens' first encounters with Earth paint a vivid picture of a death world, teeming with hyper-adaptable, dangerous life. Every effort to contain or eliminate this anomaly fails spectacularly, suggesting that the biosphere of Earth itself is a reflection of human nature, aggressive, enduring, and defiant against extinction. The aliens go to extremes, even attempting planetary genocide, but life simply evolves faster, stronger, stranger. Humanity, in this story, is barely a participant at first. Our myth grows through alien fear and failed containment, until we become the ghost story whispered in shadowed corners of interstellar society. Teenagers trade bootleg copies of intercepted human transmissions. Writers pen cult horror inspired by Earth's biodiversity, and scientific authorities issue warnings that go unheeded by a population both terrified and fascinated. As humanity eventually expands into space, the story implies that we do so not out of conquest, but because our nature makes it inevitable. We are entropy with curiosity, chaos wearing a smile. The aliens' final hope is to avoid attracting human attention, which would be akin to inviting a cosmic force into their homes. The fear lies not in malice, but in they speak in hushed tones of entropy, of a force that devours not with malice but inevitability. To them, humanity is a virus with empathy, a black hole wrapped in a smile. Others see a different possibility. To them, humanity is a mirror. Everything terrifying about humans is something they themselves have buried, regulated out of existence in the name of order and peace. But what if emotion, unpredictability, adaptation, what if that is the next step in evolution? These alien thinkers begin to integrate human philosophies, human music, even human stories into their own cultures. For the first time in thousands of years, their civilizations feel new, alive. They experience art that makes them weep, ideas that ignite revolutions, philosophies that challenge everything they believed. And always, at the center, is the image of a human, flawed, brilliant, terrifying, beautiful. Meanwhile, humanity marches forward, aware of alien life but largely unaware of the depth of their own impact. Most humans don't know that their mere presence is rewriting alien religions, destabilizing entire governments, and inspiring underground resistance movement against ancient regimes. Explorers, scientists, colonists, they're just doing what humans do, seeking, building, learning. But with every new human colony established, every diplomatic envoy dispatched, and every human-born hybrid technology distributed, the balance of the galaxy shifts further toward a new, chaotic harmony. And in the background, ancient entities, those who have watched civilizations rise and fall since before stars were named, begin to stay. They don't fear humanity. They recognize it. They've seen this pattern before. A young, volatile race that challenges the order of things, one that might either transcend the known limits of sentient life or burn everything down trying. And so they watch, waiting, debating if they should intervene, or if perhaps, this time, the fire should be allowed to spread. Back among the stars, a single alien captain stares out the viewport of a cloaked vessel, watching a human fleet move through a nebula. The ships aren't the most advanced. They are not even in perfect formation. But there's something about them, improvised, repurposed, fiercely alive. The captain turns to their second-in-command and says, It's not their weapons that scare me. It's the fact that I don't think they'll ever stop. And deep down, I'm not sure I want them to. That is a legacy of humanity in these stories, not as conquerors or invaders, but as a catalyst of something new. A force that cannot be predicted, tamed, or fully understood. A species whose horror lies not in destruction, but in potential, not in cruelty, but in complexity. And as the galaxy watches, breath held, one truth becomes undeniable. The age of humanity has begun. Let me know if you'd like me to adapt this into a short story, turn it into a script, or continue with a new angle. As the age of humanity unfolds, its influence begins to ripple in ways even humans can't fully comprehend. Entire star systems quietly shift their policies, not under threat of war, but through cultural osmosis. Galactic markets start accepting human currencies. Universities establish xenopsychology departments with entire courses dedicated to human behavior. Old empires that once scoffed at the primitive Earthlings now send emissaries in secret, hoping to understand, to ally, maybe even to imitate. In distant holes of alien academia, researchers dissect human art and literature like sacred texts. They pore over ancient Earth wars, not to study strategy, but to try and make sense of the human capacity to blend brutality with beauty, hope with horror. A simple painting, found on a derelict Earth probe, becomes a subject of 1,000 theses. A handwritten poem, burned into a battlefield diary, sparks a quiet religious movement among a species that had long abandoned faith. They begin to believe that perhaps the universe gave rise to humanity on purpose, as a test, a forge, or a prophecy. Among humans, change comes more subtly. Diplomats begin to notice that alien species react to them with strange reverence, or fear that feels deeply personal. Soldiers hear whispered names for humans: the Forged, the Fireborn, the Stormwalkers. Children grow up listening to stories of alien cultures that see them as legends in the making. Some wear it like armor. Others reject it, wanting only to be explorers, artists, engineers. But all of them feel it, that tension between who they are and who the galaxy believes them to be. And yet, not all humans are comfortable with this new myth. There are whispers on the darknet, forums filled with xenologists and philosophers who fear what humanity might become. They wonder if the galaxy's fear is justified, not because of what humans have done, but because of what they could do. History, after all, has shown what humans are capable when cornered, when challenged, when unbound. These thinkers caution against believing our own hype. They remind people that gods and myths often fall hardest. But the stories keep growing. From the icy moons of the outer systems to the glittering spires of alien capitals, tales of humanity spread like fire through dry grass. They speak of a mining crew that saved a dying planet with jury-rigged tech and sheer determination. Of a lone human diplomat who brokered peace between enemies who had warred for centuries, using nothing but shared grief and raw honesty. Of a child born on a hybrid world, raised by both human and alien parents, who spoke her first words in 3 languages, and none of them Earthborn. In the farthest reaches of space, where light barely touches and the silence is older than memory, something ancient watches the unfolding drama. Perhaps it's an intelligence long thought extinct. Perhaps it is a universe itself, conscious in ways mortals can't understand. It watches, and it waits, as a species called human stumbles forward, flawed, vibrant, dangerous, miraculous. And it wonders, not what humans will do next, but what it will have to become to keep up with them. Let me know if you want to explore a story set in this universe, follow a specific character, or shift into a dramatic or cinematic format. Patterns of behavior that define human ambition, resilient, intelligent, and utterly alien. Both stories, though different in tone, emphasize a central HFY theme: humanity's uniqueness as both its greatest strength and its most terrifying trait. Whether through the lens of awe-inspiring diplomacy and determination or existential dread and misunderstanding, these narratives ask the reader to reflect on what it truly means to be human when seen through the eyes of others. The subtext throughout both tales reveals a fascination with the idea that our greatest achievements, darkest instincts, and raw adaptability might be what makes us not just different, but potentially dominant, or even feared, in the cosmos. Let me know if you'd like a version of this formatted as a narrative or turned into a dramatic retelling. This theme of fear and fascination continues to spiral outward in Humans Are Cosmic Horrors, as alien societies begin to fracture under the weight of myth and speculation. Political leaders try to maintain calm, issuing sterile reassurances that humans are primitive, confined, easily avoidable, but the cracks begin to show. Citizens demand to know more. Media turns humans into icons of existential dread, and fringe cults spring up worshipping the idea of humanity as avatars of chaos and evolution. It's no longer just fear, it's a cultural infection. What began as a reconnaissance report becomes a legend that spreads faster than facts can contain. The alien governments that initially dismiss humans as a backward of the species now consider protocol for emergency first contact scenarios, evacuation plans, and planetary shields, just in case the humans decide to venture farther than Earth. Meanwhile, in the new threat universe, humanity's presence on the galactic stage begins to shift power dynamics that have been stable for millennia. The political intrigue escalates. Some species see humans as valuable allies, others view them as disruptive elements that must be controlled or destroyed. These reactions are driven not just by human military power, but by their unpredictability. The old powers of the galaxy are used to tradition, cycles, protocol. Humanity doesn't follow the script. They invent, question, subvert. They build things that shouldn't work, win wars they shouldn't survive, and form alliances based on empathy instead of protocol. This breaks the mold, creating ripple effects through ancient hierarchies and triggering existential debates among the elder species. Are humans dangerous because they are violent, or because they are impossible to categorize? In both stories, a recurring undercurrent is a fear of the unknown, not just humans, but what they represent. They are not the apex of brutality or intelligence. They are the embodiment of transformation. Where other species evolve slowly, adapting to their environments over eons, humans change their environments. They terraform, they hybridize, they conquer not through muscle or technology alone, but through sheer refusal to be stopped. In a universe governed by knowns and probabilities, humans are wildcards. The horror, then, is not what humans have done, but what they might do given time. And even as some alien cultures build defenses, others grow more curious. Adventurers and scholars begin secret missions to observe humans up close. They are drawn not by fear, but by awe. They want to understand how humans laugh in the face of extinction, how they turn suffering into art, how their smallest gestures can build alliances or ignite revolutions. Through these eyes, the cosmic horror transforms again, from terror to reverence. What started as a warning begins to sound like prophecy. Humanity, once a footnote in the galactic story, becomes its new protagonist, or its greatest challenge. Let me know if you'd like a character breakdown, or if you'd like to explore another story in this genre. This duality, fear and reverence, continues to deepen as alien contact with humans shifts from speculation to reality. What alien civilizations discover isn't just the physical resilience of humanity, but its terrifying intellectual elasticity. Humans don't just survive in hostile environments, they learn from them. They imitate alien technologies with shocking speed, replicate systems designed over centuries in a matter of years, and then improve them in ways that defy the original designer's intent. Entire research collective within alien societies begin to unravel, not because humans are more intelligent, but because their intelligence operates outside the expected parameters. They don't solve problems linearly. They leap. Where others see chaos, they see opportunity. Even more disturbing to the aliens is humanity's emotional resilience. Species that have spent millennia perfecting stability and emotional control are shaken by humans' raw, unfiltered range. Grief, love, anger, laughter, all expressed openly, sometimes simultaneously. In battle, humans display what looks like madness, laughing in the face of overwhelming odds, making jokes as ships burn, forming bond with enemies, mourning allies, and moving forward in the same breath. What appears insane at first begins to resemble something far more dangerous, an emotional calculus that allows humans to endure psychological extremes that would break most species. They don't just fight hard, they care hard, and that makes them unpredictable, even in diplomacy. The tipping point in both universes often comes at the same moment. First contact is made not through military confrontation, but through cultural exchange. An alien vessel accidentally intercepts a fragment of human media, music, literature, or cinema. And in that quiet moment, the galaxy stays into humanity's soul. The stories are filled with war and peace, vengeance and forgiveness, horror and beauty. Aliens accustomed to sterile logic are thrown into existential crisis watching a single human film that embodies more emotion in 2 hours than their entire civilization's history. Some go mad. Some find religion. Some devote their lives to understanding humans, not to defeat them, but to know why. Meanwhile, back on Earth or aboard human vessels, humanity remains mostly unaware of the mythos building around them. They continue pushing into the stars, not out of conquest, but curiosity. They explore because it's in their nature. They terraform not to destroy, but to create. Their greatest gift, and their greatest threat, is that they simply will not stop evolving. Every new encounter, every war, every treaty becomes raw material for further adaptation. And as alien civilizations come to terms with this truth, they realize something deeper. Humans are not a temporary disruption. They are a permanent shift in the galactic equation. And so the final thought that lingers across these tales, echoing in the minds of admirals, scholars, and leaders alike, is not a question of whether humans can be stopped. That question was lost long ago. The question now is, what will they become? Let me know if you'd like to go even deeper into the lore, or if you're curious about spin-off stories and characters inspired by these tales. As the myth of humanity solidifies into a kind of galactic truth, alien civilizations begin to divide into factions, not just politically, but ideologically. Some believe humanity should be feared and isolated, kept away from the heart of the galaxy through quarantines, blockades, or even preemptive strikes. These are the ones who studied ancient galactic collapses, who see patterns in human behavior that mirror long-lost extinction events.